Greetings, my fellow intellectuals and bookworms. It's time for Pandemic Watch Episode 2. I predicted that cases by tomorrow in America time, or tomorrow in China, would reach over 1,000. And if you look at this, 1,243 in China. Well, that is an increase of 400 cases in China alone, plus new confirmed cases in Thailand, plus 3, Hong Kong, plus 3, 3 new ones in France, 3 confirmed in Singapore, another one in Taiwan, another one in Japan, another one in South Korea, 1 confirmed in Dallas, 1 confirmed in Australia and Nepal. Death count has risen to 41, and if you look at this map, most of China has been affected. Confirmed cases in basically all Chinese provinces, except for this middle one here in yellow, which is suspected, except for Tibet. Suspected cases in Canada, Mexico, Brazil, the UK, Indonesia, India, and the Philippines, plus now a confirmed one in Australia. Now, here's why we should be concerned. First of all, there's video that came out of a team wearing full hazmat suits hauling off a body in central Wuhan. And the number of suspected cases is now at over 1,800, and the confirmed case number jumped by more than 400. Yet, yesterday, or today, I guess, since China is a full day ahead, there were only 950. Now there's 1,320 worldwide. Most of the surge is jumping in mainland China, and the guy in China in charge of containing SARS left the country and did a series of media interviews with the BBC, British Broadcasting Corp in the UK, and CNN, and all media in the US. He said, "It is serious. It probably can't be contained at this point. You should start wearing masks out in public, everywhere you go." He was also told by the government of China, to not come back because he wouldn't be allowed home, which sounds exactly like what they did with SARS. Clearly there's a cover-up going on in here. And before you say, didn't you just rally against conspiracy theorists? Well, in this case, it's not a conspiracy. The Chinese government has a lot to gain by doing so, and it fits with their current behavior before. And on the map, there was a suspected case in Russia. It must have, come to nothing. But they did cancel Chinese New Year now. The problem is, the cat is really out of the bag. Millions of people have already traveled, so what the fuck are you going to do? And I saw this example of a really long line in Hong Kong where people were waiting to collect their travel refunds because they were going to travel, right? So queue up a bunch of people to get their travel refunds for not traveling. Yeah, that's not going to spread the fucking disease. Why am I covering this? Why is it Pandemic Watch Episode 2? Because so far, the WHO is downplaying it, the Chinese government's downplaying it. Most mainstream media doesn't seem to care at this point, other than, hey, look at this curiosity. It's not fear-mongering. Here's the thing, if the Chinese government tells you it's not spreading person to person, it is spreading person to person, and they've already confirmed that. And it's spreading well in hospitals as well. Also, keep in mind, 2 days ago, you were seeing people wearing just standard surgical scrubs and masks. Now it's full face shields, booties, and the whole plastic suit. The only thing it lacks is a fucking air hose for Ebola. So it's like a BSL level 3 suit, which just goes to show how fucking bad it is. And also, keep in mind the official reported deaths, all in China. It was 26 2 days ago. Now it's 24. And there's a leaked study online that says 15% of the patients they studied in Wuhan got symptoms like total organ failure, and 70% were hospitalized. This is very likely the one. I am also glad that this was in the top for the YouTube algorithm. It put me at the top when I typed in Pandemic Watch Episode 1, so I'm hoping I'll get the same good luck. And it seems like most of my subscribers are watching this, and I really hope it goes viral. At this point, I'm not sure it can be contained. And when the official who worked on SARS is saying, we need to do something, it's that bad, you know the situation's fucked. Also, when the government of China tells you to not come home, and when they tell you it's a small-scale crisis, or it's a small problem, that's Chinese Communist code for, it's a big fucking deal, it's spreading all the time, it's probably out of control, and it's probably killing people. I believe that by the end of next week, we're on track for more cases than SARS, with more than 5,000 confirmed cases and 750 deaths. And I stand by my prediction. I said that by Saturday, local Chinese time, there'd be over 1,000 cases, and I was right. And the first case in Australia, plus a few new ones in France, and plus confirming the one in Nepal. I feel like a lot of these questionable cases will end up getting confirmed, and countries with new clusters of confirmed ones will start to see more. And our U.S. case was in Dallas. I mean, at this point, it's a matter of time. It's gonna spread, and quite frankly, I feel like we should probably move to step 2 of my pandemic plan. Ban all international travel into the U.S., except maybe Mexico and Canada, and even that I'm on the fence because they have suspected cases. My main concern is, yes, it'll disrupt trade, yes, it'll hurt the economy, but those things can be dealt with. In Hong Kong, after the SARS outbreak, they cut interest rates, reduced licensing fees and taxes, and their economy bounced back. In South Korea, after the foot and mouth disease outbreak, which killed their cattle, they simply cut interest rates as well. So economically, it's not nearly as bad as possible. And in this case, I'm leaning more towards a cautious approach only because it's probably out of control at this point. It'll buy us a few weeks to keep the disease from hitting. And we need that time right now because we're not fucking ready. It also probably doesn't help matters that the CDC or the WHO, both of whom have the funding, resources, and ability to stop this disease from spreading, haven't been invited into China. And as someone who wants to work for the CDC as an epidemiologist in the future, I've read up on requirements and stuff, read books written by CDC insiders, and they can't go there unless the country requests help. And for China to request help, it would require them to lose face and say that, yes, we have a problem. And they can't admit that at this point. So my prediction, it will very likely continue to spread unchecked. And the CDC or the WHO won't be able to do much about it, if only because they won't formally request help. And it's generally not seen as a good thing to intervene in other countries' affairs without telling them. And it'll raise a criticism in China of American imperialism. They're taking samples of this disease and treating it so that they can create a genetic bioweapon to kill Chinese citizens. I'm not kidding. That's the type of shit the Chinese Communist government has said before. So if I were you, I would definitely start wearing this, even if you're in the house, going out in public. I mean, personally, I'd wear a full biohazard suit, but there's no way you'd get around that. There's no way people would accept that. Hell, even wearing a mask like this would get you considered sinister, a terrorist, a criminal, someone suspicious, ill. They'd just be like, what's this dude's problem? Whereas in Asian countries, it's already socially acceptable to wear this because you don't want to get people sick and it's considered politeness. But I'm not entirely sure if it's time to stop going out in public entirely because I don't think it's that bad yet. But yeah, Start buying up these while you have a chance, because it seems like shit's gonna hit the fan this time. So, this is Sean Hartnett signing out and telling you, stay healthy, and don't let the Wuhan coronavirus kill you. And if you like my investigative reporting and how I tell stories that the Chinese Communist government and mainstream media does not want to talk about, even if I'm not a conspiracy theorist, like, comment, and subscribe if you've not done so. Pandemic Watch. This has been another episode of Pandemic Watch. Dun, dun, dun. Cue dramatic music.